Welcome. The Collective is here for your information, knowledge, and love. What we ask of you is to sit and listen to each vibration that is experienced. Each vibration, each frequency that passes your ears into your physical body, it is this that carries the information, the understandings, the healings that you seek. So we ask now that you sit and listen. Sit and experience this vibration. It is a new dawn. It is a new year. You have entered into a new cycle for your planet. Each of you have experienced your placement. Each of you have experienced your own understanding as it has been spoken. It is to find this center, this truth, this foundation in which you stand. The sovereignty that exists in this foundation. In this new cycle to come. This is what is going to be needed. The pure sovereignty of who you are. It is not to say that it will be a test for who you are, but it is to say that your sovereignty of who you are and the existence of who you are and the truth and the knowing of who you are will be precisely needed. So it is this sovereignty that we speak of. Sovereignty is an individual aspect of the human form. It is not something that it is not something you will give away. It always remains with you. What you give away is your power. Your power is linked to your sovereignty. Your sovereignty always remains with you. It has remained with you. You brought it in with you. It is here in this being. It is this that you have with you. But what is sovereignty? It is the pure truth of who you are. The pure existence of who you are. It is the sovereignty that makes you who you are. It is not what you've learned as you have matured in your physical body. It is not what somebody has told you to be or to do. For at the core of your existence is your sovereignty. It is who you are. No one can remove that from you. But it is critical to understand how the sovereignty of who you are, the belief systems of what you understand, the foundation of truth in which you exist, they are all merged. They are all unified. And they all shape the physical presence that you emanate each and every day. So if your belief systems are swayed to one side or the other, if it is what you believe in that somebody else has told you to believe in, then you may be feeling a pull in a direction that is uncomfortable. If you've allowed yourself to express your energy, remove your energy from you into someone else, into something else, you will feel this uneasiness, this uncomfortableness. If you decide to lift a foot off of that foundation that you have so beautifully constructed, you will feel detached. But at the core, your sovereign being, the truth of who you are, remains steadfast, solid. It does not waver. But in your existence, in your humanness, the connection, the threads, the placement of yourself in that sovereignty gets displaced. Too much of this, too much of that. Your world is in chaos. Your ears and your eyes are focused on everything that is around you. They are not focused on that pure sovereign being that you are. The pure energetic sovereign being that you have decided to incarnate in. So what we ask of you is to shift that vision, to shift the listening, the hearing. Shift what is emanated from your voice to reveal and uncover that sovereign being of who you are. For when you understand this, and when you discover this sovereign being, that foundation that you stand on, the truth that you believe, the understandings that are all around you will begin to shift. And you will understand what it means to be truly aligned with a steadfast knowing of who you are, an unwavering truth to what comes towards you, and the belief that all is divinely guided and aligned for your existence upon this planet. So shape your thoughts, refocus your eyes, reattune your ears, and allow your lips to process the words guided to this core of who you are. If you have questions, please begin.
Thank you very much for your presence and that discussion of sovereignty, a very timely subject. And another concept that we often struggle with is free will. How would you describe free will from your perspective, especially when our personal free will conflicts with that of another human?
Free will itself is purely a human concept. It is a human construct. For if you were to exist in any other dimension besides the lower dimensional planes, the denseness of this existence that you have, you will understand that there isn't the conflict, there isn't the disconnect, there isn't the upsetting of understandings between energy. But because you are inhabiting a human being, a physical presence, there must be a mechanism. This mechanism is, as you stated, free will. This mechanism is for the humans to understand, not to understand what conflict is, what disagreements are, what it is to lay in front of someone else and cause them an issue, or have someone do upon yourself. But it is a mechanism. It is a construct. Free will is something that must be understood from the fine line between your human processing, your thought processes, and your energetic being itself, the core, the essence of who you are. For yes, you could say that there is no free will. If I have no free will, I can do what I wish to whoever I wish, whenever I wish, with no consequences, no understandings, no teachings. And that would be fine, because that is the mechanism that you have chosen to take on. That in itself of understanding that there is no free will is yet free will itself, because it is a mechanism that the fine line between your brain, your thought process, and your energetic being agree. For the energetic being itself cannot fully envelop throughout you and be in a, as you would say, light body itself within the human being. It has to remain confined to the human being. So there is an agreement process that takes place between the brain and the human, the energetic being itself, in that when there is free will, it is a thought process. Now, for those that you may look upon and you have question about, and you may question it in a frame of understanding that this individual must not have free will because they are doing certain things to certain people. This group of people are doing certain things to other people, and those individuals are accepting of it. Or they're not. But in that, there is agreements. There's this construct. There's this understanding that free will has to be in place. You can call it many things. You have termed it free will. Many believe this is derives itself from your biblical understandings. It is much more greater, much more deeper than that. For if you were the only individual, the only being upon this planet, and there were no other beings, and it was just you upon this planet, ask yourself, would I have free will to do what I want, whenever I want, however I want? Or would that not be free will because there's no one else to interact with? We would argue that it is not free will, but it is the construct of your understanding of free will. So when you introduce one other individual into that understanding, now there are two individuals upon this planet, and one does something to the other, or vice versa. That is where the mind itself questions free will. But all in all, it is the same. It is a construct that has to be in place to determine where and how to operate. There are understandings well beyond this concept. For if you want to understand free will, you must fully understand the contractual agreements between individuals. And even beyond that, back many, many cycles. For it might be an agreement that these individuals interact throughout time, across different timelines, different bloodlines. So it is not just to focus on what you see in front of you and how you understand it, but to have the greatest understanding of what free will is to remove yourself from the understanding that it is just two words, free will, and what you have come to believe it to be. It is not to say to erase all of what you understand, but it is to begin to reframe it and understand it as a framework, a construct to operate in. But it goes much further than that. It goes back to the agreements, the contracts, the past lives. So yes, it may seem as this is a difficult concept for your understanding. And for many of you, this will be a very difficult understanding. It is difficult to process it in your words, because it isn't just one concept. For if you built this structure around it, this box around these two words, free will, and they exist in your present day as something, but it is a construct to operate within, not allow it to operate you. For when you understand this term free will, and you understand the concept, the mechanism, the construct, what you ultimately begin to understand, is true forgiveness of all. Because much of what takes place with others' free will opposed upon somebody else in certain situations, in the human's mind's aspect, there's grief, there's sorrow, there's discontent, there's anger, all wrapped up in that understanding. But when you take it and you understand it, and you fully understand it, each of those pieces begin to fall away as you begin to understand true forgiveness of all situations, all understandings, no matter how great and uncomfortable they are or how tremendous they are. There's forgiveness in it all. And it is all directly centered right here in your heart, your energetic center. So it is reframing and understanding it.
Thank you very much. That was quite a lot to digest, but pretty powerful. One of the other members online and I were talking back and forth about whether the angelic realm is humorous. Would Archangel Michael and Raphael like to answer that for us? How would you answer that?
Humor is a human factor. Yes, we understand that. To have humor in something is what shifts your energy. It's what helps heal your energy. It helps bind your energy together. Do we understand humor as you portray humor upon your planet? The better question to ask yourselves is this. If you sense our presence with you, and we are with you always, and it is not just this moment or that moment, but we are with you for most of your day. And we're with you, and we're providing healing for you, and we're assisting with your healing, and we're surrounding you and protecting you, clearing your path, doing all of the necessary things you think we're supposed to do for you. But yet, we decide that we're going to pull back just a bit to see your reaction. And a lot of the times, the individuals, as we pull back, they seem completely lost. Because we have not left, but we have just pulled ourselves back. It's not to do it in a humorous way that you think that we're trying to do it. We're trying to get you to understand how powerful of a being you actually are. Because you yourself, each individual, has your own power. And to rely upon our power, our essence, takes away from you. So yes, it is humorous in your eyes. For us, it is the moment of a test. We do not look upon it as being humorous, but to you, you would perceive it to be. If we were to place yourselves in your eyes, or someone else in the room, yes, it would be perceived as humorous because of the panic that would ensue.
So you do like jokes?
We do not look upon them as jokes. Jokes, laughter, jokes, any of that is a human construct. What we can say if you were to peer into our realm and the entities that are present, Enoch understands humor. Enoch understands laughter. Enoch understands what it is to be incarnate in a human form. But yet, when Metatron sits alongside us, it is not humor. It is an uplift of energy that is then pushed down into the beings of the planet. And how you react to it then could be perceived as humorous. So you must understand, it is a dynamic of energy. So if you were to sit by yourself quietly, you wouldn't find much humorous. But if you are amongst others, and you may not be fully divinely connected to your team, but there is this overwhelming presence of joy that turns into laughter because of something that was said, something that was done, It is preceded by a push of energy. And you can look upon all of us for that. We understand what it is and how necessary it is for the humans to understand this, to have the laughter, to have the joy in that manner. So in those moments, we can impart that energy. But it is not to say that we sit above you, laughing upon your existence. It is not that.
We didn't mean it like that.
But we do enjoy the humans and their existence.
We'll take more of that energy. Thank you. That's awesome. So Donna, who's with us online, was fairly ill for the past few days. And during that time, the vibrations that she used to sense at night just in one leg briefly managed to work their way up her entire body, vibrating her entire body for longer periods of time. Can you talk to her about that, please?
The vibrational sensations that you have been experiencing. This vibration in the legs, the extremities, making its way through the entire physical field. The easiest and simplest understanding is a vibrational reset. There are many that are experiencing this at this particular period of your planetary cycle. You must first understand the planetary vibrations that are influxing at this particular point. There is the continuance of, as you have mentioned in the past, a virus. Whether or not you are intersecting with it, it is affecting your physical bodies. This is what you must understand. You must begin to have the understanding that a vibrational frequency reset is taking place. This is not an awakening point. This is not something to understand that, oh, I wasn't vibrating at a particular point and I must reset and be now at another point. This is a cycle. And this vibrational reset corresponded with your physical ailments. To address the physical ailments that many are experiencing, whether you classify them one thing or another, the physical ailments that many are experiencing are there for your awareness. They are there for your physical awareness to understand that you must stop. Your body has reached its extreme. You must understand your body can only sustain and output so much. Once it reaches that limit, your body will then show itself to you to purposefully slow you down and stop you from doing what you've been doing. Outputting. Once this stop is in place, it's not to say physical motion stop, it is to stop you from outputting. It is to begin the thought process of centering back inward. And when that process takes place, what you haven't been noticing begins to make itself aware. Yes, you have had vibrations throughout your lower extremities. The vibrations have been coursing through you, but your momentum has been so strong that it has been suppressing that feeling, that vibration, that frequency. But when you come to a stop, it begins to flush through the physical body. This is the vibrational frequency reset. And this is necessary. This frequency reset is necessary. It is one, to make you aware of your physical body in a way that you haven't been aware of it in the past. Two, it is there for you to begin to look at and understand many others that are around you in a different light, a different view, a different awareness. And three, it is to begin to step forward in a different fashion, a different understanding, a different process of moving forward. One that isn't so rapid, one that isn't so distracted, one that is fully aware of who you are, based on this vibrational frequency reset.
Wow, thank you very much for that. Elaine has been sensing the actual earth under her moving or undulating for quite a while now, and all of a sudden lately it's been, that vibration has been from the earth flowing up into her body, and lately resonating with her heart space specifically. Can you speak to her about what's going on, please?
What is being sensed is a crystalline frequency shift in itself. Your planet itself is evolving. Your planet is evolving beneath your feet. It has been. With the influx of galactic energies that are being placed around your planet, think of it as your planet is being reconnected to all of the energetics of all galaxies. This is to jumpstart, would be the best way. Jumpstart this rebuilding and healing process. When this process begins, the crystalline structures of the deep core begin to phase shift and align. This is slightly different than when they align for portal experiences. This is a resonance that takes place all throughout. Just as you ring a bell, strike a gong, it resonates, and it will continue to resonate. It will continue to harmonize with all other beings. Those that have a crystalline base structure of the same frequency as this individual does senses the emanation of this frequency, this phase shift, and is being aligned with for awareness to understand the movement of the planet. So it is correct when she mentions that it feels as if the earth beneath her feet is undulating and moving. It is. Many are not sensing it. Those that are most sensitive to these crystalline alignments most definitely understand what your planet is doing.
Awesome, thank you. Mary Ellen, who's with us online, would like some career advice. She has many different skills, but finding it more difficult to do some of the work she's been doing, and is interested in animal communication specifically and finding more joy through her work. Can you speak to her, please, about that?
What you are seeking, this shift, this change, this is not coincidental. For you must understand and fully be aware of your contractual point upon this planet, this particular point, now, here, today. It is to completely understand that in order for one, and this is for all to understand, in order for one to move forward with what they truly, in essence, understand about themselves and are in true alignment with this understanding, there is a great sense and understanding of surrender and allowing the universe to open all doors before you. That we understand the human aspect. This is why you have agreed to take on the human framework. The most difficult choice you will have in front of you is to allow and fully surrender and allow the universe to open all doors in front of you. There is much that burdens you on this side of the doorway. Physically burdens you. But if you truly allow and you surrender before the universe, that it will take care of you. Many, many doors will open before you. It is not to say that one must completely dissolve themselves in what they currently are doing. But it is to be said, just as an infant crawls before it walks, you too must crawl and just take one moment of surrender and allowing the universe to open a particular door. You have an opportunity that is right in front of you. The door is slightly cracked open. But there is a reluctance to step through it. But with surrendering and understanding that the universe does provide all for you. It may not look to you as what you believe it should be, but the universe will step in and provide all for you. So it is to understand that yes, you are at this point, this decision point, this understanding. But are you willing to allow, to surrender for what lies before you?
Thank you for that helpful information. The next few questions are for our galactic friends. The first question is for Judy. She's been visited very often by a similar group of beings that come in the middle of the night in a holographic form, most recently on the 2nd of January. And one of them poked her, not the first time. She's asked for telepathic information. She doesn't get anything. She would like some additional clarity rather than just understanding they're working on her energetically. She'd like to know if they're in service to others and any other information about them or their relationship to her, please.
Greetings. Greetings, Judy. You are being contacted. Through the trans-dimensional mirroring of your Arcturian family. The poke itself is merely to get your attention. It is not anything other than to get your attention. But what you seek, this information that you seek is quite perplexing. For when you are in your dream state, you are fully aware of all galactic presence, your family lineage, your understandings, and where you should be placed upon the council. Your connection to the mantis is quite strong. They wish to verbalize through you, but there is this barrier that's been placed upon your tongue. For each question that you have in your waking state, you must understand how questioning in itself negates what you have experienced during your, as you would say, dream state. You are not dreaming, you are actually there with us in presence. You have traveled there to us. You are seated amongst many. But when you awake and you begin to question, this then begins to pull the truth from your reality and places it into a construct of disbelief. So we're here to express to you this, whether we give you a poke in the side or a tap on the forehead, or we pull your sheets ever so slowly. We are gaining your attention for your presence to merge with your physical. Your presence of when you have entered into this trans-dimensional mirroring process. But it is for you to then connect with your physical presence and have it become the reality of your physical presence. Your mind says, I understand the reality. It is there. But that is only a portion of your physical state's memory process. It is an integration of full belief. Once there is the full belief, what you might then begin to experience, and you then will question that it is no longer they are not visiting me as much as they have. It's because you have a full centered belief of your existence within the council, your mantis connection, your Sirius connection. For your galactic gateway is open. But with each question, it closes just a bit. When you question, there's a bit of disbelief in what you have experienced. Reframe the question. Eliminate the question. And begin to speak as if you are amongst the council, as you are with your mantis. Speak as if you are seated there with them, not in question, but in power, but in truth.
Beautiful, thank you. Who was that speaking, please?
In your understanding, it would be an Arcturian brother that is with her.
Thank you. The next question is for Maria. She sees a feline galactic counterpart in her mind. She's named her Leia. And she does something with her hands and mouth that she calls weaving. It looks a bit like light language. Maria would like to know more about this and how it's connected to the light language that she herself channels, please.
The weaving process is exactly as you notated. Just as a spider upon your planet casts a web and uses its legs to weave its web, if your eyes could see the energetic web that you are creating in front of you, connecting into, assisting with others, it would be a marvelous vision in your eyes. For each tone, for each vibration that passes the lips, it is the string, the thread, the energetic essence that is then caught up in the masterful artistry of the hands. It is in itself weaving nodes and connection points into a beautiful tapestry that lays in front of you. As you do this with others, as you use it as part of your healing process, it envelops them, cocoons them, places them in a cradle of energy. So no longer question it, but now have an understanding of what this vision is that will be in front of you, and allow that to amplify all that is created.
Thank you. Was that Leah speaking?
It was the Lyran collective.
Beautiful. Thank you. I have a question for whoever can answer this, and that is, did Jesus have a galactic family? Is he connected with any particular ET race of beings?
Just in your presence, you have one primary. In his presence upon this physical plane, the most direct connection would be through the Sirius lineage.
Interesting. Thank you for that. And lastly, our friends Mimi, Maria, and others have been creating colorful mandalas, square mandalas. And I'm curious, what meaning do they hold from your perspective? And how can we best make use of them other than, of course, admiring their beauty?
It is through the beauty of what has been created, the vibration that is infused, the process. You believe that it is a physical process of aligning numbers with colors and aligning it in a beautiful pattern that lays before your eyes, in which you then gaze into it. But what we all ask you to begin to see, though what lies before you is two-dimensional, what we ask you to begin to see is the dimensional planes that are in that image, the depth of what is presented there in front of you. For when you begin to see the depth, you will see a portal, a gateway, an entry point. This can be used for quick entry into a specific zone. During your meditation, during your quiet point, observe the depth, understand the portal, and allow yourself to slip through instantaneously into that location. That is the understanding to have with what is created. For when the numbers align and the colors align and the image lays in front of you, they are purposefully built in a manner in which there is depth to the entire image. But it is a process to align your vision with the image.
Thank you for that. Before we close, does the collective have any final remarks, please?
Many, many times has it been mentioned to you You are the light. You are the beacon. You are here for a reason. It is to be purposeful in all that you do. It is to stand in your square, in your spot. Do not attempt to change the world by yourself, but change the world around you, and that will change the world around everyone. But begin to change the world inside. Inside yourself, begin to expose that true sovereign being of who you really are, why you are here, what is your purpose, and what truths do you believe, what foundation have you built. And from that, your vision of what this world is will begin to change. And with that, your voice will begin to change. And with that, others will begin to change. So take this time for this new cycle upon your planet to begin the change inside, for the change around your planet.
Thank you very much for that final profound message and for being here with us this evening.
As always, the collective is here for your information, knowledge, and love.